forgive us. But if we do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will our Father.
Trespasses? Freedom, bro.
I just wanted to let everyone know that there's a special man here today. His name is Kareem. He is a black conservative man who has completely been demonized by the people out here. They've told him to stay home. We don't want you here. But then you guys come at us and call just the people that want to stand for freedom racist. Okay? Let's have a little bit of class and respect for everyone. I don't care about your race, your creed. If you're a part of LGBT, I want everyone to stand together and pray. But here's my friend Kareem, and I'm so glad to have him out here. Thank you, man. Thank you for being security, too.
All right, my fellow patriots, how you guys doing? Thank you for joining me today. And I have a few things to say about Oregon, about America. I'm just a simple man. Normally I wouldn't be public speaking, I wouldn't be on the internet having battles with people I don't know, because my conviction is I love America and I will do anything to make sure every single person years down the line from my death get to enjoy at least some of the freedoms I've enjoyed my whole life on this planet and in this country. There are so many Americans that came before us that sacrificed everything they had and got nothing out of it, so we can stand here today and say we love America. And that's really powerful, because there's so many people that want to not tell the truth. They want to have it their way. They want it to be like this, or the way it's always been. But the thing about it is, what people forget, and especially people that are telling me to stay out of their town because I'm a dirty Portlander, no matter, I'm an American citizen.
Go back to Portland!
I'm a veteran who fought for this country. And it really hurts, because I would never, ever bar another American citizen from speaking out what's on their hearts, no matter if it's the antithesis of what I believe as an American. So, thank you for joining me. Listen to my words. I'm going to have a quick speech about the governor. I myself am a newer Oregonian. I've been here less than 10 years. I've made a home in the state, and I'm never leaving, because I see so many great American citizens in this country that are very loving, very welcoming, that will do anything for you, because they're a faithful American. And they want to do nothing else but foster other faithful Americans that are always going to be loyal. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what the time, they're always going to be there for each other. So this is what inspires me to be here today. As we peaceably assemble today, we face a nation in turmoil, in atrophied political class, working families facing an uncertain future. Once again, a new crisis unfolds in our great state, and a new generation of Oregonians must take up arms and face it bravely. Oregon is facing a crossroads. One term before us leads to collectivism and serfdom and despair. And the other one points towards freedom, fraternity, and prosperity. The Governor K. Brown has time and time again betrayed foster children, single mothers, working families, the elderly, veterans, and just regular families, and plus state employees. Prosperity today seems fleeting for so many honest folks in the state, but not Kate Brown's inner circle. Her fat cat friends in Salem and in Beaverton are doing exceptionally well. Big money donors have Kate Brown's back. And guess what? She has their back as well. Small business owners can't get that voice. They can't get any job-killing regulations off the books.
I'm not afraid of my stand or what I do.
But Kate Brown and her DNC rules will gleefully put another bill that makes the cost to enter industry too damn high. Every year, small mom and pop businesses in the state of Oregon have to choose between staying in business or leaving.
We did not support your shit.
We have to face the life-altering decisions that it takes to chase a dream in this country. And they say the cost is too high to continue. But Kate Brown knows her nefarious deeds will not be kept under wraps forever. Every day, concerned citizens are digging through every official correspondence and filing for a request to uncover her misdeeds. The Brown administration has gone as far as to fire her own public records advocate for the state. Her own politically appointed person she got rid of to keep the truth from coming to light. Plenty. The corruption goes deeper inside the Brown political machine. This corruption is not new. It goes by the name of Kishop. His legacy, his disgraceful legacy, is corruption, and it lives on today in Salem. Her administration has redacted over 4,000 official items from her official state calendar. 9 out of 10 days she serves in office, she not only conducts herself in a possible criminal manner, but she also is killing the faith and trust in Oregon's critical institutions. As of right now, there is a class action lawsuit being filed by parents and children being abused and taken away from their families and taken to other states outside of Oregon to make money from the federal government. So, what I'm saying today is we have to band together as Americans, as Oregonians, and stop the corruption in front of us. We have to stand tall together, no matter what your political affiliation is. We have to make common cause for the future Oregonians of tomorrow. And that's about it. Thank you for your time. God bless America, God bless the state of Oregon, and God bless Seaside. All right. Antifa, do you have anything to say about how much you love America? Do you have anything to say?
Anything positive to say?
Anything positive to say about your country? About your fellow Americans? Because I know you disagree with me and you have these preconceived notions about me, but I am always willing to reach out to other fellow Americans in good faith. And this is always the obligation of every American to give everybody a fair chance to speak up.
You're a liar!
Not have friends that haven't got unemployment checks.
You're liars!
Nobody knows anybody here that hasn't got their unemployment checks yet.
I haven't.
Do none of you people know anybody that's not going bankrupt? Not tomorrow, not next month. Do you not know anybody in this town that's going bankrupt today? Yeah, I know it is bankrupt. I know them all over the coast. All right, that's why we're here. This isn't a protest. This is a rally for freedom.
You're a fascist.
speaking, and I hope that everyone has respect back there, and at least kind of listen to what people are having to say. But I have a great woman who's about to speak right now. Her name is Cheryl, and the speech that she's about to give is from her own children who are in high school, and how this has affected them. And I'm really glad that Cheryl came out to speak for the youth, because we really need to hear what our youth is speaking about. We need to know what they're thinking, because it's not just about the adults, it's about our children. Thank you.
Fred, I have a huge
All right,
spider.
so I chose not to bring my children out today because of all the threats that were made. So I am here on their behalf, and I am their voice. And I think a lot more of us American parents need to stand up and do what's right and be their voice. So I'm going to start mine, and I want to start out by, this is written by a high school senior, and I hope that you guys pay attention, because I think that we are not realizing how much this is affecting our children. I was robbed, not of money or possessions, but instead memories and experiences that every class before me had and every class after me will. The moments and memories that your parents and grandparents tell you you'll never forget, I won't ever have. I don't get to walk the halls as a high school student. I don't get to get my senior trip. I don't get to have my goddamn high school graduation. But at least we still have our pop shops and our liquor stores open, right? Yes. What would we do without those? Well, what about my entire class with difficult online classes and a very minimal help? Quarantine. Or how about the seniors who were relying on scholarships from the spring sports? Quarantine. How about the seniors who are relying on summer work to help pay for college? Quarantine. Or work in a store that could expose you to the very thing that our governor is trying so hard to protect us from. And are you doing anything to help the seniors who have caved into depression from not being able to experience a milestone in their lives that everyone has gotten? No. Quarantine. But as you go shopping, enjoy yourself walking into that dispensary, liquor store, or grocery store. I think that Governor Brown has really made an impact. I think that what she's not realizing is that the younger generation and the youth are waking up, and they're seeing what's really going on, and they are proud of their American history. And what are we teaching them as parents? You guys are out here cussing at us, and death threats are being made. What are we teaching our children, our future generation? I think honestly that regardless of your political views, that we can all agree that our children are our common ground, because everybody wants what's best for them. So I got a guy from out here from Lincoln City. He's from the coast as well. I mean, come on, we're all together, guys. I have to say one more time, I want to thank you, every single one of you guys, even the ones up there. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. And so this is my friend David. He's from Lincoln City, and he has a couple things he would like to say. I respect this guy, and he has a wonderful family, and I'm pretty sure he's got something good to say. Here you go. Take it away.
All right, thank you, Haley. Sorry, not very good at public speaking. What I came out here to say today is that, not unlike a lot of you who live here in Seaside, I also live in a tourist community, maybe one that's actually has more rooms per capita than you guys do here. And we've been struggling with a lot of the same issues. I struggle with the same issues. 2 months ago when this all started, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off thinking it was the end of the world. I actually stood out in front of my city at the entrance on spring break weekend with a gas mask and a flag that said go home, because we were inundated with a lot of tourists. And I was scared, but I was also ignorant because I didn't educate myself. And once I started educating myself, and once I looked into the facts, and once we went through quarantine and we were able to see what the real numbers are and what's really going on, and that Oregon is not going to end up having a huge problem because we only have 4 million people in this entire state. We're not going to have the same outbreaks. And I was worried about my hospital being overrun. We have a hospital with 15 beds. It's not meant to hold a bunch of people. I had all these same fears, but getting educated is where it's at, and not being afraid. And remembering, and over these last 60 days, I've been watching my town slowly die. I have been watching people who have not been able to get their unemployment. I have been watching people who have no means, that have had to line up at food banks to feed their families because their right to have their business open was taken away. But you certainly can have a big business open, you can have a Safeway open, you can have a Walmart open, but these small businesses were told you have to shut your doors because it's not safe, and that's wrong. They had every right to be open just as much as the big box stores. You're going to tell me it's all right for 300 people to pack into a Walmart, 300 people to pack into a Safeway, but mom and pop down the road who have their antique store or their taffy shop or their small restaurant, they're supposed to shut down and not let people in because it's dangerous? You want to tell me what's more dangerous is going to a small mom and pop store or going to a big corporation where everybody's standing in lines? You know? And the reason I'm out here today is because my city is starting to slowly open up. We're opening our lodging back up on June 1st. There's restrictions in place. There's things to keep people safe. And the fear's got to go away. You've got to remember, these people who come from other places, and trust me, I know all about tourists. I deal with tourists every summer. I've lived in Lincoln City for 30 years. I deal with tourists every single summer, every spring break. I know what it's like. I feel you guys deep down. I know how it is. I know how they can be sometimes. We don't feel like they always respect our communities, and they don't respect what's going on there. And I understand that we're small communities and we don't have the same resources that larger places do. But at the same time, these are the same people that keep us fed. They're the ones that bring the money over the summers. So in a way, you know, you got to kind of not bite the hand that feeds you. And there's no reason to bite the hand that feeds you, because you know what? The places where the outbreaks are mainly happening is inside of nursing homes and other places like that, and some processing plants where everybody's really close together. It's not happening out here on the beach. I don't see the coronavirus out here on this beach.
11 cases in Astoria.
At a processing plant, yes, and you need to take care of those. That's what you got to do. But you can't keep things shut down, and you can't keep on giving into the fear. You guys need to educate yourselves about the virus, educate yourselves about the spread, be safe about it, open back up. But Kate Brown has no right to be the person who decides who gets to stay open and who gets to stay closed. Every American businessman and people in this city have the right to decide. You want to walk down the street, down to the shops down here, and tell which ones you want to pick and choose which ones get to open and which ones don't, about who's worthy to make a living for their family and who's not? You want to decide for them? Are you willing to give up your money to them to help them pay their mortgage or their bills? Instead, you want to come out here and you want to tell the very people that are going to come here and support your community from other places to go away. And you know what? That can end up coming back to bite you guys in the ass real hard, because you know what? It's going to show up on the news that people in Seaside showed up and didn't want people coming to their town. Their tourist town that relies on tourist dollars, because without tourist dollars, this place dries up and dies. It would be dead. They don't allow us to log the forest. They limit how we can fish. They limit everything else. So what's left? What's left? Tourists and pot shops. You know? Come to the beach, drink it up, party, have a good time. You know?
You shall not pass.
Anyways, that's all I had to say, is that I come from a city just like you guys. I was ignorant, I was afraid, I opened up my eyes, I learned the truth, and now these cities are going to open back up, and it's going to be a great summer. Thank you.
We don't want our America to crash the economy. And to the man over there that you're speaking about, Portland, I apologize. I apologize for any Portlanders that came out here and trashed your community. Okay? I believe that's disrespectful, and I agree that those people should pick up their trash. But we don't have trash here today. Unless there's no trash, everyone's been picking up their belongings. Everyone here is together. Because remember, guys, we're all in this together. So I just wanted to say, I'm just so grateful that I'm out here today on this beautiful coast. You know, that what God gave us. You know, I hear a lot of people, you know, you guys don't want us to come out here, but I know there's a lot of people that do want us out here. There's a lot of people that want these prisoners to get let out of jail, but then at the same time, you guys want us to be prisoners within our homes, but make us seem like we're criminals because we want to go to work. So that lady in Salem, she is not a criminal, Lindsey Graham. I think that's how you say her name, or her last name, but you can correct me. They took her business away. That's what they're trying to do. But I don't know if you guys have seen her funding. a lot of patrons came together and they helped pay that fine. That's what happens when family come together and we work together. We come together and our force is so strong that nothing can bring us down because we love, it really comes down to this. We really love our Jesus. Jesus is standing with us. He's standing with all of you guys through any kind of struggle in life that you are going through. And I think that we all can agree right now that we're all struggling. I mean, in all different ways. I don't know what's going on with you guys in your own homes, but everyone has something they are struggling with. Depression, anxiety, you know, everything that you can think of, you can pray. You can pray on it. And Jesus will come to you and he will never make you feel alone. That's why I'm out here today, because I want the people that are out here and that are opposing me, I want you to know that he loves you. And he just wants you to take him in your house. Quit shutting your doors on Jesus. Take him in. Take God. Take God as your Father. And he'll always look over you. He'll look over your children. And that's all I'm really out here today for. I just want to preach the love of God. And you know, I gotta say, Quincy over there with that sign, thank you for coming out here. You didn't even have to come all the way out here for, you know, this event, but you did. It's great to see you. It's great to see this. And you know, my fiance Mac over here, he prays to me every single night, and he's so loving. And then all the things that I've seen that has been said about him online from some, you're my neighbor. You guys are my family. You are my neighbor. We are supposed to be brothers and sisters in this country. And some of the things that you guys have said has just completely disappointed me. But me and Mac have prayed. We prayed a lot on this. And we learned to forgive. We learned to forgive you guys. And we hope that you guys can take this hatred out of your heart. And I think it's time for everyone to rise up. Everyone needs to stand up. Everyone needs to pray. Everyone needs to come together. Because right now, this is the time. Especially with what we're seeing within this city. I never knew there was so much hatred within this city. And that's why Jesus is calling for us to be here together. All of you guys in the back. Anyone that's opposing me, I want you guys to come in together. Meet people, talk to people, tell us your concerns, but don't blaspheme. Quit blaspheming the people. Quit putting hatred, quit doing death threats on innocent Americans. Hey Cheryl, I've seen that you got death threats. Hey Miles, you got death threats. Kareem, everyone has got death threats here, including my children. Isn't that just sad? That is so sad. How can we let this happen? How do we let this happen? How do we let this happen in our country where we thought this was okay to treat our neighbors this way? That's what we are. We are neighbors. We should never be treating each other that way. And when you guys are coming at me and trying to come at me with slander, with lies, with your batons, your abs, your pepper spray, just know I forgive you and I love you. That's all. That's all. I forgive you and I love you. Hey man, how are you?
I've lived a lot of lives.
Give him a chance to speak.
Okay, so we're gonna let this man speak. I don't know him, but today we're friendly. Rocky, this is Rocky.
I stand for the American flag. I see what it is, and I see the poison in you. Reach out the aggressive concept and pull it back in. Don't let anybody
Aren't you the guy that sells best?
fuck with you. Oh,
I smelled him.
See, if you want to get on the mic, if you want to have your own time to speak, you guys have to have respect. That's all I'm asking. Have respect. I have no one's cursing at you guys. Don't come on here, please, sir. Don't ever do that again on my property or on my friends.
So, I have a specific message to our anti-fascist friends. It appears as though you think we are fascist, and it's not necessarily that we're fascists, it's that you're Marxists. and while that is asinine, we're going to look past that and respect your rights to believe whatever you want to believe in the United States. But there is something peculiar going on about the Antifa movement in Portland, or in Oregon, just in general. We have a few here today. This didn't show, Antifa didn't show up until after Trump got elected. But if they were really truly devoted to the cause of anti-fascism, they could have even started a little bit even before the election and chose the greatest threat of fascism to the United States, the Church of Scientology. But somehow this never occurred to them. The Church of Scientology has billions more than any neo-Nazi organization in America or the blue-collar conservatives that you conflate them with. Now, anti-fascism and personal liberty for American citizens are not enemies. American patriots and overt Marxists fought real fascism together in the European theater. But somehow, Antifa seems to ignore the Church of Scientology, which will be around a lot longer than Trump can be in office, and instead chooses to target violence, use violence against basically blue-collar plumbers that might happen to agree with Rush Limbaugh.
You have to talk to your mom. You're with your mom, remember?
To kindly put things in perspective. We are anti-fascists just as much as you. But we are... Unfortunately, this is not the first time this region has had a problem with mass violent militant extremists.
She said sure.
And it was actually the last time the decade was the 20s.
I'll see you a little bit later.
Now, I understand Antifa is trying to prevent this happening again, but in a weird sense of irony, they've recreated it again, just on the opposite end of the political spectrum. Now, I have myself been a victim of brutal Antifa violence and their harassment. And to be honest, it really resembles a lot like Scientology. But I'm actually calling for every member of Antifa in the state of Oregon to come together with us to fight the greatest threat of fascism, and that is the Church of Scientology. You know, in the 1968 Democratic primaries, Robert Kennedy came to this area and unfortunately lost against Eugene McCarthy. Less than a month later, he was assassinated in Los Angeles. But a very iconic photo of Robert Kennedy was taken on this very beach and was shown across the world on the cover of Life magazine. And with whatever spirit this land invoked and inspired in that image of Robert Kennedy, I urge the anti-fascists to come together. We are not your enemy. The greatest threat of fascism in the United States will be far removed from the realm of politics. So with that being said, I really hope to turn a new leaf and ending the most primitive form of fascism that there is in Oregon, violence. And Antifa has avowedly adopted violence. And within that message, they have missed their mark. They have become the fascists. We are calling to end your violence. The hypocrisy of you using violence in the name of anti-fascism is no longer going to be unaccounted for. You will be held accountable for this hypocrisy. Thank you very much. Make America great again, and God bless the United States of America.
You have to go with your mom. I can't bring you up there. I don't bring my kids down
So
here.
there's a great man that's out here to help me with this equipment today. His name is Michael Cross. Here you go. Take it away.
All right, you know what? The establishment frickin' hates me. And you want to know why they hate me? Because they don't have their claws into me. And they're never going to have their claws into me. You know what I mean? Because if we're going to fix Oregon, who thinks, okay, first of all, who thinks that we have some fixing in Oregon to do? Who agrees with that statement? Woo! going to come from somebody outside the establishment. By default, it must, right? I mean, that just makes common sense. So anyway, it's like, you know, and what's really scary is like nationwide, when was it, a year or two ago, they started tearing down statues. And it's like, even if you don't agree with whatever the statue is, isn't that kind of a memory about maybe where we shouldn't go or something like that? Because if you remove it, then what happens to the memory? We need these reminders. You know, there are people that believe the Holocaust never happened. I mean, if we don't learn from our mistakes, how can we ever move forward as humanitarians, right? I mean, that's just the truth. That's just common sense. So we need to pay attention to our statues and things like this. And you know what? There's a wonderful little bronze plaque over here that I want to read. And far too often, people just walk on by and they don't even look at these things. But the Kenyans placed that bronze plaque over there, and I want to thank the Kenyans. This is what it says, and it's very appropriate today. Living life, doing things. Laugh as much as you breathe. Love as long as you live, and along the way, share random acts of kindness. Say what you mean and act how you feel, because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. And that's actually from Dr. Seuss. So anyway, you know what? That's pretty cool. But there are a lot of things that we need to clean up in Oregon, and I'm running for Attorney General. Again, the establishment hates me. Thank you, thank you. They're gonna say crap, whatever. I mean, I don't care. People that really know me, love me. So you guys, the naysayers, the haters, they can say whatever they want. So we know what the truth is. And there are some things that we need to fix in Oregon. For instance, why is it that people's voter status just changes randomly without their knowledge and or consent? That is a problem. Now the company that runs that software, it's tied into the DMV, so motor voter kind of a thing. And heck of a coinky-dink, but they are a Kate Brown supporter. And that is a company out of California, and they also run the DMV software down there. So we need to get to the bottom of what the heck is going on with our voter thing, because if they change who you are, if you're a Democrat and they change you to Republican, or Republican, they change you to Democrat or Independent or whatever, that's not right, and it's against your knowledge and consent, and that's wrong, and that goes against our Constitution. You see, we have this document known as the Constitution. That's a contract between we the people. Yes, that's a contract between we the people and our elected officials. We are a republic form of government. And that's something that a lot of times they don't teach in school anymore. We are not a democracy, we're a republic. And so this document protects us. It protects we the people. So Kate Brown she was outside her judicial authority when she went past 30 days, closing the state for 30 days. She was limited by Article 10, Section 6, which was actually enacted a mere 8 years ago. So I would like to thank whoever put that in there, because they must have saw this stuff coming. And hats off to them. Thank goodness it's in there. Anything beyond 30 days requires legislative approval, and she did not obtain said approval. And I don't think she would have gotten it. Otherwise, she would have convened an emergency session. We know she would have. But she knew she didn't have the votes, so she didn't. She just did it like a tyrant. And we fought tyrants, and we are free people. You know, our founding fathers, think about it for a minute. If you were Thomas Paine, Jefferson, George Washington, Samuel Adams, think about it. They had this concept of a free nation. And there was nothing down yet. And many of these men died broke. They were wealthy, and they pledged their personal fortunes so that we could enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today. But here's the thing. This will go away if it is not repeated every generation. Because what they did, what our founding fathers did, was merely the down payment for our freedom. Because if we forget where that came from, and we forget what it takes to protect it, then we will lose it. Because you take a little virus, and thank God the morbidity rates were way lower than what we were fearing, thank goodness. But we sure saw which individuals wanted to grab some power, didn't we? We sure did. So here's the thing. We are the wealthiest nation in the world, okay? And we are also blessed. We are formed in a Judeo-Christian type of, belief. That's our belief, Judeo-Christian. Because if, the Constitution means nothing if you take all of that away. So here's the thing. If you are out there as an American, let's say, you got a nice boat, you're doing well at work, or maybe you own a business and you're doing well, so you go buy a speedboat. You go enjoy that on the weekends. You're enjoying the fruits of your labors. Okay, that's fine to a point. But here's the problem with that. All too often, people forget that you need to maintain what allowed you the freedom to make that money and the freedom to buy those things that you wanted to buy, or what have you. I mean, it's kind of like your penance, or we have to do it. It's a responsibility that we have to have as Americans, or we will lose our freedoms. We will lose it. And apparently somebody doesn't like that, and they got the little honker thing or whatever, so I don't know, it's like, okay, so, anyway, there's a lot of things that we need to fix in this state, and my name is Michael Cross, running for Oregon Attorney General, and I'm on the Republican ballot. But you know what? This is not about Republicans. This is not about Democrats. This is about Oregonians. Because I love this state. I fell in love with this state. I'm not a native Oregonian, I will confess, but I fell in love with Oregon as a child in the 70s when my family came here camping. And so briefly right after I got out of the military, moved back to Oregon, and I love Oregon, but you know what? We need to protect her, because there are those that want to destroy Oregon, and it's going to take all of us to protect her. And I swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, never recused that oath. And you know what? I take that job seriously, being the Attorney General. And I want to clean up Oregon, and Kate Brown, when she exceeded her judicial authority, and it doesn't matter, any public employee is subject to the same kind of thing.
I'm part of a group that
if they exceed their judicial authority, they can be held personally liable. And Kate Brown could be held personally liable for the damages and the expenses that people have incurred. So that's something to think about. Anyway, I guess that's about it. Does anybody have any questions of me about what I want to tackle? I mean, the voter thing. There's just so much to do, and the thing that I noticed is this is the part that's really tragic. Okay, is the towns, the small towns, whether it be Mill City or any small town at all. Where they used to be logging, and the logging is not so prevalent anymore, and it's been replaced by drugs. And it doesn't matter what the small town is, when that has happened, it gets replaced by drugs, and it's really sad. And that is something that I want to work with. I want to help solve that problem. I want to help solve the things actually in Portland. And I have a solution for that, actually. And I would be happy to do that from the Oregon Attorney General's office. And if you're an older person, you may remember the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC, and it's a similar program with that. Tradespeople are screaming for help. Electricians, plumbers, diesel mechanics. There is no reason, we are the wealthiest nation in the world, there's no reason we should have people living on the sidewalk and using it as a restroom. I mean, it's just, it reflects poorly on us as a society, and I want to do what I can to solve that problem. And so what do we need to do if they have an addiction, a substance abuse issue or whatever? Obviously we have to take care of that first, okay? But again, these plumbers, electricians, they make good money. They're screaming for people. Where is the disconnect? Can you imagine how frustrating that would be if all of your possessions are in a cart or in a tent or in a broken down old motorhome? You have no hope, no future, and you feel like crap. I can't even imagine. So we need to help those people. And it's become a public safety and a health issue for everybody. And it's not right.
and I will do what I can. And you know, there's just different things that we need to do. The federal government owns 60%, or well, I should say they manage 60% of our land, and I don't think that's right. So if I get elected, I would want to go and negotiate that in D.C. so that we can control more of our land, because you know what? It's not good on the environment when that land is not properly managed and it goes up in a forest fire and kills all the wildlife, and the carbon emissions are just huge. And I've talked to many people here in Oregon. We know how to manage our own forests, and I think that that's something we need to do on our own, and I would be happy to go to D.C. and negotiate that. And guess what thank you. And guess what that's also going to do? It's going to give us more jobs. Because I want to take the small towns that are riddled with meth and heroin and all this stuff and this hopelessness and give them jobs, give them treatment, and let's turn things around. We can turn Oregon around. Thank you very much, Haley. You know what? It's funny. It's funny how much this town is scared of this little lady. But I said Portland's kind of like that. You know, thank you, Haley, for doing this. This is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Liberty, not lockdown. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. What's your question?
Well, that would be a Secretary of State question, but I think that we should, you know. He's saying because the Democrats and the Republicans can't get their crap. Yeah. So I would be happy, you know, if Kim Thatcher gets elected to Secretary of State, or whoever gets elected to Secretary of State, I'm happy to work with them and let's solve these problems. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Never heard of him. He's very articulate, though.
Wow. Like, today's just been amazing. Like, the whole week I was like, I'm scared that I'm going to get something knocked on my head. But now that I'm here, I just feel the Holy Spirit. It's so great. And to the person that's out there and you guys are making that horn noise, please stop. You know, please, Satan, stop trying to silence the people, our people. Satan, please stop. Stop trying to do this to our people today. We are just out here for freedom. We are out here for love. Satan, I please ask you to stay away.
That's awesome.
Because I'm the name of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ gave me my voice today to stand here. The colored conservatives, you can find him on YouTube. He's got something to say, and I can't wait to hear it.
Haley, you're awesome. Thank you so much for organizing today. You're a brave soul, I can tell you that. You've received so many death threats. You've received so many damn death threats that I've ever seen before, and they're scared of this little lady. That's just hilarious. So thank you for all you people out in Oregon for being out here. And the first thing I did was I noticed what was behind me. Do you guys notice that, or lack thereof? There should be thousands of people out here. I don't see one person. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's how scared people are. That's how scared people are. This pandemic, I'm just gonna say it right now, total hoax. It's an absolute hoax. Look, the virus is absolutely real. You can get it, you can die, but the pandemic, total bullshit. I mean, is it not? I mean, what? Less than 1% die from it, and that's if you get it. So, you know, for how many people are from Washington State here? Only a couple people. First of all, thank you for coming out to Oregon. Second of all, Jay Inslee is a total tyrant. I mean, my God, like, he said May 4th. Then on May 4th, he's like, just kidding. And then on May 31st, he's gonna say, just kidding one more time. And then on June, he's gonna say, just kidding. How long is this gonna last? They're gonna destroy the country. They already did destroy the country. What? It took 1 week to make our country into almost full-blown communism. Can you believe that? One week. That was it. March 16th was the day. 1 week later, like 15 million people lost their jobs, just like that. 1 week. Are you kidding me? We've never had such low unemployment or high unemployment in the history of this country. These numbers are getting worse and worse and worse. They're getting worse in the Great Depression. And the people back there, those fascist people, they want it to happen. Like, look, I know thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have told me personally that they've lost their job, that they've lost all their savings, they had to sell all their crap, and they want that to happen? Are you kidding me? Like, whoever said it, we are the richest country by far in the history of the world. Why would we want to go from number 1 to 0? And we practically did in less than a month. And that's really sad, you know. And I've also noticed that the only people that are making these shutdowns go longer are, I don't know, Democrats. Why is that? Why is that? They're doing all these different illegal things according to the Constitution. And the Constitution is winning big time in these states, by the way. So you better thank God for that. So, you know, it's absolutely horrendous what I've seen. You know, mental health. I could talk all day about that. All day. Look, guys, you have no idea. You know, some kids in school right now, they have a massive mental health crisis. There's a lot of kids, more so than you think, that go to school because that is their only safe space because they have abusive parents. Well, because of these shutdowns, guess what's going to happen? Now they're in their abusive parents' house. They can't do anything. They can't be busy. And we all know that busy kids equals a great adult at some point in their life. Probably. But because of these shutdowns, they can't do a damn thing, so they're going to get into trouble. Let me talk about prisons, for example. They're releasing prisoners. The Green River Killer. For those of you that are in Washington State, you know about the Green River Killer. A 5-4 vote almost released that guy. He killed like 40 people. He killed like 40 plus people, and they almost released that guy because they didn't want him to get the coronavirus. Can I just tell you that that's fucking bullshit? That's fucking bullshit. And I'm absolutely tired of it. You know, like they're emptying jail cells so they can put salon owners in those same damn cells where the rapists were. What? Like, how stupid do you have to be? Look, I haven't lost my job. I've only lost 2 of my businesses, 2 of my 4. Only 2. But these people that have nothing, they have nothing. Their savings have dried up. These mortgage companies are coming at them like sharks, and you know, those mortgage companies are total killers. They're total killers, guys. You know, they will kick you out of your house faster than you can save the mortgage, for heaven's sake. You know, and I've seen this personally happen because I have a lot of business stake in those areas, and I see it firsthand. And I'm just like, wow! Like, you gotta be kidding me. Those people back there, they want it to happen. They want it to happen. Why? A, they're stupid. B, they're fascists. You know, everything that their dreams came true, guys, pretty much. And it's really sad. And I'm out here on the streets of Seattle. It's totally empty. I look at pictures of New York, where what's that? The Madison Avenue, right? Total empty. You can see the pavement. Never before have I ever seen pavement from a New York picture. Completely empty. You know, I see pictures of Portland, thanks to Haley, completely empty. Streets of Seattle, empty. All these businesses, close sign, close sign, close sign, close sign, close sign. These people's lives have been absolutely destroyed. Now, because of that, they can't rebuild it up because they don't have the savings to do so. And these governors are stopping the spread, or stay home, stay safe, flattening the curve. First of all, what curve? What curve? That was total bullshit, by the way. The curve was bullshit. You know, Dr. Fauci, I first was like, yeah, I kind of like Dr. Fauci. He seems to know what he's talking about. But every single one of his projections was wrong. Even with these guidelines in mind, he was wrong about, he said, oh, a million people are going to die in the United States. Well, that's not true. Oh, 500,000 people are going to die in the United States. Well, that wasn't true either. How many people have died in the United States? Can anyone tell me? They're less than 50,000? Not even that? And by the way, do we even know that that number is true? Because look, if you die of a car crash, oh, that's somehow COVID-19? What the hell? You know, it blows my mind. You know, they're releasing, oh, by the way, let me just go back to the releasing of prisoners. By the way, when President Trump signed the First Step Act, yes, that reformed a lot of prisoners, but right now, that's not happening because they have a record. Their background checks are not very good. So when they get out, they have no cushion, they have no money to back themselves up. So what are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Hello? I hope every single Democrat governor is listening to their people right now, because I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of videos out there, you know, of cops coming out and saying, we need to fight back, and then they get fired. You know, the one, oh, I can't remember his name, but he was SPD and he got fired the day after he came out and made that statement. And these people, these truth tellers, they're getting fired and fired and fired, and they're being silenced. Facebook came out and said, we're blocking every single reopen protest event. YouTube came out and said they're blocking and taking out all these different videos and about reopening the country, about restoring our liberties, because they're in bed with the deep state. They really are. And right now, I can tell you right now, this is awesome. You know, the COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise, because all these idiot liberals out here are about, oh shoot, I guess it's important to be conservative, isn't it? To have money in the bank, to have guns, especially guns. You know, I went to the gun store, it was completely empty. I've never seen it before. Never. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. There was no guns at the store. I'm like, what the hell is this? I had to go like 3 days later, like, yeah, we're kind of getting a shipment in. You know, the liberals are buying guns. And then not only that, they're getting pissed off at their own idiot laws that they voted for. Yeah, it's absolutely stupid. Like, can you believe this? So, you know, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I guess the conservatives were right. You know, Donald Trump was right about China for 30 years. Can you believe that? He had the, like, I'm not saying he's God or he's like some kind of, you know, malevolent being or whatever, but he had the clairvoyance to know this stuff. And it kind of blows my mind, you know? And it makes me sad, you know, seeing, what is it now, 40 million people out of jobs? 40 million, something like that, you know? Retirement savings have gone dry. We've added $5 trillion to our deficit. Suicides are going up. Domestic violence is going up. And yet, the Democrat governors are like, yeah, that's okay. Because we're flattening the curve. Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah. And then you have Sleepy Joe out there saying that he would do a better job? Oh, come on, he can't do it better. He can't even remember the damn Constitution. Like he said, you know the thing, right? I mean, my God. And he's in bed with China. China. By the way, China. So, anyways, guys, I just really appreciate you being out here fighting for your liberties. I'm not scared of this virus. From day one, I said I'm not scared of it. If I get it and die, that's the way God made it happen. I'm sorry, if it happens, it happens. You know, for the people that are prone to dying from it, those people should be safe. We shouldn't be quarantining people that are healthy. Not at all. You know what? This contact tracing scares the shit out of me, guys. It scares the living hell out of me. You step in my property, it's over. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. I don't care if you're my best friend. You're done. So, guys, please, please, please fight 10 times harder. We need to fight so much harder for this, because we're going to recall all these governors, and we're going to get governors elected into every single one of these positions. So, guys, thank you. And yeah, you can check me out at Color Conservatives on YouTube, provided I'm not shot up. So, guys, thank you so much. Love you guys.
All right, give it up to Dion, man. Another great patriot that comes out to support us from the state away, because freedom burns in the heart of every faithful American. Right now, we have an American right now. She's here with her family. Came all the way from Damascus because they believe that America should be reopened. They believe that people should be able to take the risk to provide for their families and provide for their community. And also, Americans, I mean, let's just be honest, we have a history of defiance. If you look at all of our older flags, what does this say? Don't tread on me. Okay? Liberty or die. This is in our DNA. So, when she comes with liberty, not lockdown, we mean it. So, everybody give a round of applause for Cindy.
Hi. First of all, I want to thank you all brave citizens for coming out and standing up. And the reason I'm here is because our forefathers gave their lives for our freedom. They gave their lives for me to have our freedoms. And I'm here now because see those little twin grandbabies over there? I want freedom for them. And I'm not going to be afraid to stand up together. But we have to do it together and not be afraid. And we, you know, we're Americans. And we have a wonderful Constitution to stand on. The government, to put it simply, is overreaching. They're overreaching, just like this gentleman was telling us. And I just want to encourage everybody, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand up for your families, for your grandbabies. Okay, love you all.
Thank you, Cindy. I love what she said because I totally understand where she's coming from. I would rather die a patriot than a coward. That's why I'm here today. That's why I face all of you, every one of you. But I've got a man over here that I just met today. His name is Avery. Here you go. Steve.
Hey, thanks everyone for being here. I'm a local business owner and I stand for Reopen Seaside. We're a group of business owners that have been petitioning to open the city, open the... What do you want to say? Everybody has a voice here. That's why I'm here. Everyone has a voice. I want to talk about some things. First, I want to thank the elected officials for their efforts to protect us. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect us. Okay? But the truth is, this isn't a severe pandemic. Thank God, right? Thank God. Thank God the mortality rates are only 0.1, 0.2%. That we can be here today. Thank God it's the truth that most people in the Northwest, you know, have already been exposed and have developed antibodies against this virus. That's the truth. If you look at the scientific facts, that's the truth. The truth is it costs the city millions of dollars every day that is closed. It's cost the businesses millions of dollars. The truth is that our liberty, freedom, and constitutional rights are being violated. That's the truth. That's what's really going on here. You know, who's behind it? Follow the money. Big Pharma. Big Pharma-backed World Health Organizations. That's who's behind it. That's the truth. So, there's a pandemic of fear, okay? Yeah, Bill Gates, that guy needs to be in prison, right? You know, let's see him in prison. Let's visualize it right now together. He's in prison. His money is going to be dispersed to the people he's brought harm to. Okay? Let's stand for our democracy. Let's stand for our freedom. Thank you. God bless you. Who else wants to talk? Thank you, everybody.
All right. Gotta love that beautiful Oregon coastal wind. Let you know that you're still alive. We have a few people here that don't agree with us, and it's completely fine. Just always remember, as long as patriots believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you will always have your say. So that's another thing, is just like, people, that's right, we'll fight for it. And the thing about it is, it's just so crazy that people still don't understand that you have the right to do what you want if you're not infringing on anybody else's liberty. So it's just really funny that people say that we're gonna come here and get people sick and my grandpappy's gonna die, but it's just like, why are you bringing him to the beach? Why isn't he just chilling in the house watching, I don't know, 90 Day Fiance, whatever? I don't know. That's a good show, right? But in all seriousness, I'll give you a quick little story. I was once a young man from this state that you probably heard of that sucks. It's called New Jersey. So, you know, you don't have to really wonder why I'm here right now. And one thing that I saw there that I didn't see here is that people always want to help others. People are always concerned about others, not in the way they're like, well, I want my neighborhood to be this way or my town is that way. Here it's, we have an obligation to each other. We're Oregonians. That's what I see out here. Even during these difficult times, I see Oregonians not saying, oh my God, I'm in despair. They're looking forward. They're looking forward to forging forward to rebuilding their lives. They're not really out there like other parts of the country that are saying, hey, we messed up, we need a bailout. Oregonians every day are standing up and saying, I got this, my community has this, and we're gonna do it together. They're not begging for other people to do for them. They're seeing what they can do for themselves and other people. And that's why this state, this experiment is superior to anything else that's ever been undertaken on this planet. And that is all. Thank you.
I love this man. He's so great. Honestly, he shows me nothing but love and support, and I couldn't be so. I am so blessed to have you in my life, Kareem. Thank you. Thank you for coming out here. You know, you didn't have to. You could have been playing video games at home. So there's a man that came out here from Tacoma, Washington. He's a big freedom fighter. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit shorter. But guess what? That man's got more backbone than any other man I've ever met in my life. Come here, Carrie Hudson. Take the stage.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. This is my brother right here. We love you, too. All three of me. First of all, I want everybody to take a look behind me. I've been sitting out here filming everybody, but I keep getting distracted by what's out there. And I'm not talking about the empty beach, although that's pretty important. Look how beautiful that is. It's been a long time since I've been down at an Oregon beach, and I forgot how lovely they are. And, you know, we got seagulls flying overhead, we got people gathered around, and we should be out there enjoying that beach, not standing up here afraid. And somebody earlier said that it's important, David said that it was important that we be educated. So I want to give you a little education. Let's start with how we've responded to this virus, this pandemic, as opposed to others. In 1968, I was 6 years old. We had the Hong Kong flu pandemic. That lasted for probably 2 years overall. We lost 1 million people. And you know what they said? They said that the reason that we only lost 1 million people is because we had already been exposed to a variation of the same virus, the Asian flu, 11 years earlier. So we had developed an immunity. but we didn't mask up. We didn't run and hide in our houses. We didn't shut down the country because people were getting sick. It was tragic, but we went on with our lives. Now fast forward to 11 years ago, 2009. We had another pandemic. Anybody remember that? Swine flu, H1N1. Anybody here old enough to remember us masking up back then? Did we shut down the country? No. In fact, back to the Hong Kong flu, they did shut down the schools. But you know why? It wasn't because they were afraid of people getting sick. It was because they couldn't find enough teachers to staff the school. Teachers were getting sick. Once the teachers got over it, what they did is they opened the schools right back up. And any of this information you can look up on the internet. A good resource I recommend is Google Archives, News Archives. That's where I found this stuff out. If you read the old newspapers and how they reported, you get a good idea of what actually happened. But that's COPD, not the Rona. And you know, Dion was talking about the different numbers that they've come out with for estimated deaths. And they based all of those numbers on models. Models that didn't have anything to back them up except guesses. They really didn't have any hard information originally. But our latest guesses do have hard information to back them up if they would use it. Anybody who works in a Safeway, in a 7-Eleven, in a Walmart, or a Target can tell you what it's like to be out there exposed to hundreds of people a day. You don't hear any news about how retail workers, people who are exposed to every kind of person, from the filthiest to the most protected, you don't hear numbers about how those people are dropping like flies. If this thing were that bad, and I'm not saying it's not real, I'm just saying if it were that bad, and we've shut everybody else down, the first people you would start hearing about are retail workers, healthcare workers, people like Buckford. But you're not hearing about those. In fact, there was an article came out, a number of articles, big story about New York. The most recent cases that are coming out, 2/3 of the people, 66% of the people getting this virus were people who were staying at home. How does that work if everybody getting out there is what's going to spread this virus, and the people out there aren't getting it, but the people staying at home are? I think we've got something backwards. In fact, a really interesting number that came out of that, of the people getting it, only 2% of the people were homeless. I don't know how many of you have had real close exposure to the homeless, but they live in an extremely filthy environment. Not only that, their habits, they eat out of trash cans, a lot of them. They will pick up cigarette butts off the ground to smoke. Not to mention the drug use and all the other things that go along with homelessness that lower your resistance. They should be eliminated, our whole homeless issue. Not that that's the way it should go, but you know. But anyway, what we've been told, a lot of what we've been told is nothing but fear-mongering. They want us to be afraid. And like I said last week, we need to stop asking the tough questions. We need to start asking the simple ones. Who's going to benefit from it? And more importantly, who's in their back pocket? Because let's face it, it's not the people, it's not the doctors, it's not the first responders, it's not even retail. It's our politicians. Our politicians, some of the politicians in Washington are receiving donations from some of these guys that are working on cures for this virus. And by the way, that was another piece of information that's important. Corona has been around since the 60s. It's no different than the flu in that it mutates, it changes. COVID-19 is nothing more than another mutation of the coronavirus. MERS was corona. SARS was corona. You would think we would have some information on how to prevent this, just like we do with the flu. That's why, yeah, that's why the flu, that's why we're so able to respond to the flu, is because we dealt with it for so long. So why can't we respond quickly to this? And back to that fear thing, that was probably the most important thing I wanted to talk about. I'm walking around my city, I'm walking around here, I'm walking around Olympia, Seattle, haven't been to Portland, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, man, people are afraid to touch each other. They're afraid to touch anything else. They're even afraid to breathe in the air, so they put on masks. That's not how America is. There's a reason that we are called the home of the brave. Thank you. Next.
Hello everyone, my name is B, Brandon, whatever, call me what you like. But I just gotta say, these lefties are so low energy, even their air horns are weak. Like, come on guys, step up your game. We got tiger energy in us. So, another thing I think is hilarious, Antifa wants to go on, oh, we represent the working class. But most of them haven't even worked a day in their life. Like, they don't even know the value of hard labor. And you know, this lockdown is screwing over a lot of good people that should be working. And you know, I want to say thank you to all the essential workers out here, whoever you may be. Can we get a hand for them? Hands for our essential workers. We love you all. And in my opinion, everyone is an essential worker. They are essential to keeping this economy going. People are killing themselves due to this lockdown. And that shouldn't happen. It's terrible. Come on guys, we can do better than this. Anyone else? I'm gonna hand this off to this lovely lady here.
I'm Marga. I'm Marga, a retired public health nurse. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. And you know, we do not have to be afraid of this virus. This is their way to control us. We were born with an immune system. All we have to do is use it and trust it. Our body is self-healing and self-regulating. We're Americans. The only thing we have to fear, like FDR said, is fear itself. If we're afraid, our immune system takes a dive. So don't be afraid. I wear my Corona hat everywhere I go. I convince people to take off their masks because all it does is restrict their oxygen to their own body. It does not prevent anything. It's like putting a chain link fence up to keep a mosquito out. That's exactly what it is. I want my freedom. I don't care. We're Americans. We're not Democrats and Republicans. We're Americans. We want our freedom.
Morgan, thank you. All right, hey, who's got something else they want to say? Anybody? Dream, I love you, bro. All right, Hey, you guys get to hear from me. I'm going to step in for a minute here. Hey, everybody, thank you for coming out today and making this successful. We're only about halfway through, so you know what? Seriously, the people that are making noise, the people that are being quiet, the people up there, whatever. Hey, I'm glad you guys are here. You know, if you come down here to the beach, if you come down here to be a tourist, as a local of this county, I apologize, our beach is closed. Okay? I listened to the city council meeting last week, and one of the city council members was like, well, let's open the beach for a couple days just for the locals. Last I checked, we're all citizens of this great country. Last I checked, as soon as you step foot into the state of Oregon, you're protected by the Constitution of the state of Oregon. Oh, wait a second, there's a Constitution of the United States on top of that. Okay, so you want to sit here and ask us not to come out. You know what? I ask you to go home and stay at home. Okay? Stay home. And for those of you that come out here, the families that got personal beefs with people down here, I'm a local. I know who the supporters are and who the people are that have personal beefs. I see you over there. You ain't Antifa, you're just upset about something in your life. Okay? But for the people that are here for liberty, that are here for the Constitution, or that are here for the good people of this city, every single one of us deserves this beach. Every single one of us. This started about a week and a half ago. I'm in Cannon Beach. And I'm with my lovely lady, Jamie, over there. We got some kids and we're down there, we're playing. And we're playing with some other locals. Straight up locals, they own a business in this area, okay? We're playing on the beach, I come back off. Guess what, I just bought a car. It's got Washington license plates on it. Oh my God, that's a crime. You know why? I have a threat on my windshield. If you are a visitor, you cannot be on this beach, or you will face 30 days in jail and $1,250 fine.
That's not America!
That's unconstitutional. And so I go and I talk to Chief Schermerhorn of Cannon Beach. Because see, I'm not like the people that want to come out here, the anti-fascists, hide their face, and I'm scared. I got a horn. I go and I meet the problem head on. I go and I talk. I drive my short little butt down to Cannon Beach with my buddy Ryan Lyles. And we, right, I'm saying. And we get down to the city of Cannon Beach and we talk face to face to the police chief. And you know what he says to me? He goes, Miles, I'm letting surfers surf on the beach. I'm like, wait a second. Those 8 stories there and however many this little mini building are here, y'all cried when they came into town. But you know what? I worked for Winder. I made lots of money out of that building. And I know guys that have pulled millions of dollars out of that building in income. You know what? As individuals, say that again. You know what? Whatever, it don't matter. My point is there is so much money that you have turned away. And if you believe in evolution, I don't, by the way, I believe in the Bible. But for all of you here that are going, stay inside, I'm scared. Well, if we got evolution, haven't been for the last 600,000 years without dying from a virus. We were outside, not in our homes. Hell yeah! Okay? So you want to tell me to stay off the beach? Guess what? I'll honor that. But I will get a permit, I will come down here, I will yell, I will scream, I will jump up and down like I'm Popeye or Yosemite Sam. I don't care. Because you know what? Somebody has to make a stand. And that day when I came off the beach and I got threatened 30 days in jail and $1,250 jail for playing on the beach with kids and my friends, the most healthiest place we can be right now, the thing we need the most. And I'm going to jail for that. So you know what? I drive up to Astoria, because you all been doxing people anyways. You know who you are over there. You've been doxing people. I go up to Astoria, I'm running my mouth. Well, that morning I'm I'm like, this has got to stop. I don't know what's up. Nobody cares, you know? Like, people are just staying in their homes, and like the locals are happy that nobody's coming down here. And you know, we get so much mixed information on this virus. And I get that. They don't know, okay? But because we have misinformation, we do not know, does not mean the first thing we jump to is just, you know what, we'll take that Constitution and we'll just set it aside. That's not how that works. You know, we have to understand that that Constitution is only a piece of paper, okay? Beyond that, it's a thought. And this is what I know. I know when I listen to the mayor of Warrenton on Facebook Live, and he's encouraging his citizens to turn in other citizens, okay? I know when I go to my local Fred Meyer, my local Safeway, my local Walmart, and I'll have a sign there that'll say, due to a national shortage, you can only buy 2 packages of meat. You know what? When I'm feeding 4 or 5 men in my household, and I need to bring home 10 packages, now all of a sudden I'm a hoarder? That's how I shop every week. But I'm a hoarder, okay? When I go down to the tennis court, and by order of the governor, the thing I need to do is be immune and play and get out and be active, and I'm told, you cannot play tennis? We have food lines. We have food lines throughout this country. Folks, that Constitution is a piece of paper. The reality is we are under an authoritarian regime right now. If you do not believe that, you must look at the facts. Okay? The only way that changes is for us to get out and live our lives. Hey, if you think you need to stay at home and do social distancing, I encourage you to do that. Please do that. Please, please. Okay? But there's a group of us out here that we want to get out. We want to build our immune systems. We want to live our lives.
I'm glad that you guys can, you know, come together and hear this prayer and feel this prayer within you and take Holy Spirit and take Jesus into your homes, and please do not close the doors on him. And again, I will repeat this one more time. If you take Jesus in and you take God in your home, you will never feel alone. He will heal you. He will look over you, and he loves you. That is our Father. I love you guys. Here you go.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. I'm just going to do the closing prayer. You guys want to take your hats off in respect. Jesus Christ, thank you so much for this country that you've blessed us with. I pray for the people in this country. I pray that you take the fear out of their hearts and that you show them the truth and the lies that are being told to us to control us. I pray for the people that have come out here in fear to protest and try to scare us away. I pray that truth into their hearts, and I pray for our president, God, please give him the wisdom to do what is right and do what is right for our country. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen.
Okay, everybody, if you would face the flag, please. Everybody join in. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. We're going to head out and, you know, be Americans. Get some food, great food. Let's do this. Let's have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. Have fun. Let's boost up this economy. Let's get Oregonians back on their feet. Let's get God bless every one of y'all. No matter if you hated us. We still love you. We're still going to be here. We're still going to stand up for our country. God bless America.
Thank you, Seaside, for having us.
Go home!
So is there something wrong with me confronting Christmas in the house? You all support this? Do you support it? Do you support him sending people to my house? Do you support him sending people to my house? Do you support that? Anybody else do? You, Bob? You okay with Randy showing up to my house? Yeah. Oh, how do you, across the street from where? How do you know where I live, bro? You know all about it. You know all about it. His family lives across the street from who? Me? How do you know where I live? So how do you know that his family lives across the street from me? That he shows up to my house and takes pictures of my house?
Public information works where you live.
Yeah, how does Antifa know where I live? There's people showing me my house. They're taking pictures. You really think that too bad? Too bad. Too bad. You think I'm gonna feel bad? You think I'm gonna feel bad for all the people in the box? You think I'm gonna feel bad for you, John? John, you think I'm gonna feel bad for you? All the damage you've done? We're always on the Antifa side. Renounce Antifa right now. At least it's in your house. Yes. When have I done it? John, when have I shown this in his house? When have I shown this in his
John, eye for an eye, John. John, eye for an eye.
There you go. There you go. There you go. That's perfect. I'm not talking about Cohen for doxing if any of you guys have had Okay, yeah, I got you.
You better do some good reporting, man. Huh? You want me to hold off on the siren?
You guys all support it.
Fair enough, now. I love you. I love you no matter what. No matter what.
Hey, we got till 3 o'clock, buddy.
There's 8% that said they don't support it and 1% that said they're not going to get it.
Who said we were storming the beach? No, seriously.
Hey, I don't want to.
You guys support anti-Semitic boy over here? You know that you posted all kinds of anti-Semitic shit.
the right, posting pictures of the Jew, Patriot Front, all that stuff. You support neo-Nazis. I support Patriot Front. Nazis. So you know the Patriot Front are not, and you support those. I'm not talking about I haven't said anybody here's a Nazi, so if that was true, I'd be saying that. Is it true? That everybody here's a Nazi? Yeah. No.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof?
That no one here's a Nazi?
Do you have proof that he posted stuff on the internet?
I do, yes. I do.
Show it. If you have
Why
proof.
would I do? I'm filming it. He knows what he's posting. He just admitted it. He just admitted
Who
it.
cares if what he posts? It's his property.
Because he's
it's his
supporting
social
Nazis.
media.
It's not what we're talking about, supporting Nazis.
He doesn't care. It's his social media.
But do you support Nazis?
Who cares if I support Nazis?
So it doesn't matter if people support Nazis.
So you support communists?
I'm pretty sure communists are not.
I'm pretty sure the communists killed Nazis.
The communists killed a lot of Nazis too.
Yeah, well, they also killed.
I'm not here trying to support Stalin. You're the one supporting Nazis.
But they killed you support Stalin. You support communism.
I denounce Stalin. I denounce Stalin.
Then why don't you denounce
Antifa? You're saying you support Nazis right in front of me. I'm saying I denounce. You support Patriot Front.
Patriot Front is not a Nazi.
Patriot Fronts are Nazis, in your opinion. It's not an opinion.
They want to put America first.
Really? Well, what's the fact? A white country. They want a white country. White only America
Did they
first.
say that? I never said a white country. I said America first.
No, that's what they support.
Koreans are American. The Portuguese are American.
So the fact that
I'm America first, that makes me a Nazi. Because I'm America first, that makes me a Nazi.
We love you.
I'm talking about Patriot.
Yeah, that's racist.
You support
They
Patriot.
don't go around putting swastikas out.
They do. Yes, they do. Do you know where they came from? They're an offshoot of American Vanguard that was at Unite the Right.
Yes, everybody, and there's other people at Unite the Right.
Who besides like the Proud Boys and the 3%ers not to Unite the Right?
So the Proud Boys are led by a Cuban immigrant. How are they not?
I didn't say they were Nazis. You listen.
But you're sitting here, you're telling everybody that they're Nazis. Unite the Right, Nazis. Proud Boys are there, they were Nazis. Stop making the Jews support
It doesn't matter.
He's the blackest Nazi I've ever seen in my life, which is
This is how dumb you guys sound. I'm literally saying cowboys are not.
Oh, so you support Proud Boys?
You're saying we support Nazis.
Well, you go on and say Will you say you support
I
Proud
didn't
Boys?
say he did.
Okay, well then stop saying that we're supporting Nazis.
I'm talking to fucking anti-Semite.
How's he an anti-Semite?
Because he posts anti-Semitic shit.
Like what?
I just said, have you ever seen a swastika or a Hitler?
So you have to post a swastika to be anti-Semite.
Oh, okay. So anything that what you're saying?
So that would define is the only anti-Semites in
Paula, oh, you're kind of cute up
I'm
there.
asking you a question. The only anti-Semites in Congress.
Until you turned around, you were kind of
So you
cute.
denounced the Democrat.
Not you, officer. I'm talking downstairs.
Okay, for example, let's talk about. Let's talk about Ilhan Omar, who said very nasty things about Jews.
You know you like to get booty, Judy.
Right. Okay, so then what makes you any different than anybody here? Yeah. Everybody here hates Nazis. Every single person you see here hates Nazis. Fuck you! What makes you any different?
He had an opportunity in Seattle last year.
John, you want to hug me?
He might get thrown. Hey, Chris, he might get thrown.
COVID-19 hug?
Anybody here actually know what Patriot Front is? They can prove
Hey, how about this? Why don't you educate us?
What kind of separatists? They want their own little white ethno-state. Okay, so he knows, right? I'm saying, I'm not saying this. Okay, you're like,
Oh, just like the KKK.
in the middle of the conversation. Hey, listen. David, I was referencing David Willis. And everybody's
He's not Patriot Front.
Officer,
He just said
you guys want to smoke a blunt after this?
Well, maybe like they're immigration.
We got some special brownies.
Show me where Patriot. I do. I support
We
American.
got some brownies.
which shows how ignorant you are.
So let me ask.
The only thing I've seen
Because they got labeled that way. They also labeled that way. Well, it's just like, did you know that's probably no, I'm saying I know. I was like, exactly. Let me ask you. I said, yeah. You want to hunt too? No, answer the question. Okay, is America first a good thing or not? What is your definition? So, now, serving American interests before any other country's interests. That's the definition. Yeah, right? Okay. Is that doing my job? No, answer the question. It's a simple yes.
Better than Jerry Springer.
Just doing my job.
We just have to stop the Nazis. I don't like it.
You asked me if I believe it was good or bad. I said there's positive and negative to it, and it's not intrinsically bad.
So why don't you make your question a lot more pointed? Ask him, do you support the white nationalist part of America? It's right here. I don't care. No, that's the only part you have to think about, right? We set the clock. You care.
There you go. If there was a group of Nazis here, as long as they said they weren't Nazis and you didn't know they were Nazis, you could support them.
Just like how you stand with Antifa that supports going to people's houses and assaulting them and destroying their property. What's the difference?
When you get on the sidewalk, he said he doesn't.
What's the difference? It's just, no, you're saying that only one way.
Can we move to the sidewalk?
What it all come from is
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Can we move to the sidewalk? Cars coming through. Thank you everybody.
Nice driving. The guy with the horse trying to start.
Really can't be good. No.
Is there a parade or something?
No, there's a white Mercedes over there.
It is?
That's what that guy walked down there said that they can the music in the studio. And they said find out how we clear people out of the streets because your car's gonna come, and then he said that's gonna be a
Are you
white
texting that
Mercedes.
to police right now? Yeah, straight joints. It's funny how you only know one person. Yeah, that's awesome. Everybody's
Yeah, that guy with the gray hat is
Negative.
Yeah, remember when you posted the anti-Semitic stuff about it? Yeah,
What did she say?
Good job.
What? I will not go to jail. The cops love me too much. No, every single one.
About him being freaking, about him. That's alright. Oh, never once have I ever said anything about him being a Jew.
They'll tell me
Never
to leave
once.
before they arrest me.
I think you got a sweet milk on this.
I know.
I was going like 130 and something. There was like no down there.
What's the talking gun?
Who's coming up?
I don't know.
Might as well take advantage.
There was a guy that did the news report and talked about how they should be open and stuff, and then the car came up, so we had to clear out the road because cars were coming, and then he told the cops, yeah, it's going to be a right seat.
Yeah, right? That's what.
This guy
has 2 guns and a knife.
I know. It was fucking stupid. It was like, oh, let's just dance.
I know, he's like, Psych.
Yeah, let's blow up the squirrel. Bam!
He's at my house. It's at my house.
This must be the right and see.
You're parking on the wrong
Back with it.
Get back!
Oh yeah, I know, I saw that. They sold it there.
It's like there's a police officer videoing me with his phone. That's what they want.
Calling to action.
So did you enjoy the show? We're just really surprised that